The Turning Point, brought to you by Ashley and Martin.
This is a bit high risk too. The Ashley and Martin Turning Point, or just cruel and unusual to Crows fans. So that was the whack that Jordan Dawson got that went unwhistled. Oh, I didn't bring enough footy cards to excuse us for doing this.
Oh,
no. No, there was no touch on the posts of Sam. Well, just frog splash on the footy. No, we're not calling that one either. Next day, we got that one wrong. And
just to rub it in.
No. So what was it about karma? And then this last one, take your pick, Mark, free kick, should have been paid.
So Cornsey will run back in.
Yes, those are the four, and Crows fans suitably irate. Our South Australian players are joining us. They are both part of Swish, so you can scan on screen here, not just free stuff in at Adelaide Oval, but free stuff at home. The Swish video from your favourite AFL stars. Scan that code. Our two guests are part of this setup with Swish as well. Ben Keys, it's great to have you here. Ben, welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
And live from his pub in Glenelg, Travis Boak is with us. Trav, great to have you back on 360.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Tell us about the Moseley Beach Club. I reckon that'll be a popular destination over the next 5 days.
I'm hoping it'll be pretty busy over this week and the weekend. We've got a little function here tonight, actually. So a few of the Port boys are coming down, and we've got some people coming down here tonight. So it should be good fun.
What's the special tonight, Trav? Got a parma or something?
Nah, we've got a three-course meal tonight. I think it's like a nice beef brisket we've got on the menu tonight. So real fancy kind of setup for tonight's captain's run, we've called it. We've got Connor, Tommy Jonas and Kari and myself talking, so it should be fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Ben, what is the feeling? You'll lead us off on Thursday night. It's such a cherished week here in Adelaide.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think it's been a huge success so far, and yeah, to kick it off again's a huge honour. But I just love the energy around the town. I think it really it comes alive with so many people from interstate, and just the location as well, sort of really central to all the major cities. So you get people from everywhere coming in. It's an awesome week.
It's always big games here. They always are. Are these even more special? You've opened gather round both times. You're one-on-one. Just give us an insight into what it's going to be like on Thursday night.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the first one a couple of years ago, there was a bit of the unknown, but I think once we ran out, we knew it was going to be a pretty big event, that it was going to be there to stay. And yeah, to have the Cats on Thursday night as well with them as a footy club, how they're going, it's a huge game. So it's going to be great fun, and I'm sure it'll be packed to the rafters, as will most of the games over the weekend. So
Trav, the Crows might have opening night, but you've got the main event, WrestleMania style. We're not trying to play this down, are we? This is proper grudge match territory.
Well, you can play it up as much as you want. We'll continue to address it as another game. But no, look, it will be a massive game, let's be honest. For us, we're not going so well. Hawthorn are the best side in the competition right now. Obviously, there's the history of the final last year, and I'm excited for a big challenge, and I'm sure we'll pack out Adelaide Oval, and it's going to be a pretty solid game. But there's been a lot of history between Port and Hawthorn for a number of years now, not just last year. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, so the two thrillers, we were just debating before, is this the spur, is this the spark? You came into that semi-final off a really disappointing performance, and it sort of roused the whole team. Might it do so again to your 2025 campaign on Sunday? Yeah,
look, I hope so. I mean, right now, our footy's a long way off where we want it to be. There was some patches of it on the weekend, but we're nowhere near where we want to be as a team. And we looked at a lot of it again today. And but we're coming up against a side who's in red hot form, and we need to bring our best footy to the table on Sunday night. And hopefully it does kickstart our season, because it needs to get going pretty quick.
What do you think it is? I know there's a couple of teams who are in similar positions, and the coaches keep fronting up and getting asked the same questions. They can only say so much. Have you been able to put a finger on why it is that you've had this sort of mediocre start?
I mean, you look at the first few weeks, and it's kind of been a few different things. It hasn't been just one thing. Obviously, on the weekend, we got scored heavily against at stoppage. That really cost us. There's been some turnovers that have been a bit of a challenge, but in saying that, our forward half game was a lot better on the weekend. That's the kind of team we've been for a number of years, and that probably hasn't been there over the first 3 weeks. So that was a lot better on the weekend, and that's what we need to continue to bring. And if our defence isn't working, then our game isn't working. So, yeah, look, we need to get that back right on track and limit the turnovers and try and play it in our front half.
Ben, we don't want to torture with the end from Saturday, and we did have the coach last night. I was just curious, out on the ground, as it's happening or in the minutes afterwards, is there a bit of a... Should that have been paid? What was the chat like before you sort of fully understand what's happened?
I think there was a little bit out there. It's probably more so afterwards with the blow-up in the media. I think at the time, we were probably thinking that up to that point, we hadn't probably played our best, and Gold Coast had probably deserved to win at that point. And yeah, we're probably looking at what we could have done better to be in a better situation. That being said, yeah, we did felt we were pumping the ball into our forward 50, and we had it there for those last couple of minutes. So we thought an opportunity might pop up. So yeah, I think it was more afterwards. Yeah, in the moment, it was a disappointing loss for us. And Gold Coast played some really good footy, and that's why they were able to win.
Forever and a day, 18 players on the field, and they line up backs, half-backs, centre. Describe your position for us, because we're fans. I mean, everyone's a fan of what you've been able to do in your career. You've been outstanding, but you are up, you're deep in defence, you're back, you're working, so your work rates. Just describe the role you play.
Yeah, I play half forward. I guess it's the modern version of the half forward. Yeah, been playing there for a couple of seasons now, and really enjoying it. And yeah, I've worked closely with a lot of our guys that have been there for a while, like Tex and Darcy Fogarty, and they've helped sort of teach me when to get out of the way of them and then when to go and get the ball. So it's been fun to learn it. It's a challenging role at times, also a really rewarding one, and I think it's one that's really important to our team and to teams all around the AFL.
How far would you run in a game? Like a half forward back in the day would rarely get outside their half of the ground. You're up and back. What's your, the GPS numbers telling you?
I think it's around sort of 14 to 15K, but I think it's more the high speed and the sprint. Alex Neil-Bullen's probably one of the premier guys in that role, and we're able to get him, which was exciting for us, and he's been blowing the GPS up, so he's a little bit ahead of me in that. I have to try and catch him, but yeah, it's a lot of high speed up and back. You have to get back to support the defence, but just as importantly, you've got to get back forward to try and lock the ball in and play front half footy. So it's a really important role. It's one that we rate highly, and it's one I've really enjoyed learning.
What was so you had the boppers, the brats, and the babysitters.
That's right. And I have.
And Ben makes everything okay.
Ben
as the
and Alex
calming
Neil-Bullen are
influence.
the babysitters, while the brats go and do whatever they want. So they've got to cover their backside and wipe their bum when they get it wrong.
Yeah, when you got names like Rochelle, Rankin, Thilthorpe, I think off the field as well, it's very similar. They're pretty crazy guys.
We're having a chat before we come on air. Just share with us, Riley Thilthorpe outruns you in long distance running.
He does, yeah. He's we're just chatting about it. He's an incredible athlete, and obviously his performance on the weekend, he showed plenty of what he's got in the arsenal. But yeah, just since he's come to the club, his competitiveness and his work ethic's just stood out. And yeah, his long distance running in the time trials, he's right up there with the top two. So he gets me done all the off season. I try and chase him, and he just pushes ahead. So he's got some weapons. It's going to be really exciting to watch him develop because his strength and his speed as well is also a strength of his. So yeah, we don't want to pump him up too much in the early stages of his career, but he's got a lot to work with.
Isaac Rankin, what chance he is here on Thursday night, do you think?
I think he'll give himself a really good chance. Yeah, those corkies, you boys would know, it's probably initially...
That's
Jared,
very kind, Ben. That's very kind.
Gary, you might know, Jared. You can never assume. Yeah, they pull up pretty sore after the game, during and after. So it's going to be about how he pulls up over the next couple of days. And yeah, having the Saturday to Thursday turnaround is going to be a challenge for him, but he'll do everything he can. And yeah, obviously we're fingers crossed that he will get up for it.
Trav, in the changes in your team, so Charlie's not there anymore, so it's a different dynamic up front, and you've had injury. Is the chemistry just a little bit different that maybe you're grappling with at the early stages of the season?
Look, there's probably a part of that, and we unfortunately lost Toddy to an Achilles injury earlier in the pre-season as well, and then with Jack Lukosius coming over, and hopefully we had our own big three of our own, sort of went down pretty early, so we had to change a few things around mid pre-season, and then Jack going down earlier in the season to really only have Mitch early on as our one key forward and a really small forward line, which changed a few things. We had to sort of adjust on the fly, but hopefully get Jack back in a few weeks, and then Lordo on the weekend, Ollie Lord on the weekend, I thought was fantastic. So for him to fit into that forward line as well, it just takes a little bit of adjusting, but yeah, look, I think we can continue to grow and build on that.